How to really overcome laziness with strategic laziness. Have you ever wondered why you can't seem to do anything? Or perhaps you're always lying in bed or on the couch, doing nothing. Maybe you're lazy or procrastinating. In this video, we'll teach you techniques to overcome laziness and get back on your feet, working with strategic laziness. If you like the video and want to help us continue creating interesting content, we kindly ask you to consider the idea of subscribing to our channel and making a donation to support us. Your support is precious to us and will allow us to continue growing and improving our channel. You can do it here below, through the appropriate buttons, subscribe, and thanks. How to truly overcome laziness using the definitive cure. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, laziness is defined as not wanting to work, not wanting to be active, wanting to do the least possible. This single definition has been used by countless parents over the years to criticize their lazy children. Lazy people cannot be successful. Work hard and be a leader. You cannot be successful if you are lazy. A talented lazy person will never beat a hard-working person. Be like your sister, who is a tireless worker. If you offer an egg to a lazy person, they will want you to peel it for them. From these quotes, you've already understood the composition of a lazy person. Essentially, a person who practices laziness is headed for a life of mediocrity and, consequently, will never be successful. Moreover, they are unable to do anything on their own and are an innate parasite on those around them. Like the high school boy who, for some reason, never did his homework and always copied someone else's work. However, in today's video, I want to examine both sides of the laziness coin. How bad is laziness? Are there types of laziness that are acceptable and even necessary? What is creative laziness and strategic laziness? Why is laziness negative? Let's start here. Why is the word laziness negatively connoted? Why is laziness considered negative? Why do most people think that laziness is the opposite of success? Tony the mechanic's story might illustrate this concept. Tony inherited his father's auto repair shop and works there as a mechanic. Customers, family, and friends call Tony, lazy mechanic, for the frequency and duration of his laziness. He prefers to play video games and watch TV instead of repairing customers' cars. This doesn't mean he doesn't do the repairs, he just does them at his own pace and time. Tony's habits firmly place him in the list of slacker stereotypes. He does only the bare minimum to get by. He spends most of his day glued to the television. This might be a good thing if he were an acclaimed film critic or a professional gamer, but he's not. He's the kind of person who doesn't keep his promises and procrastinates, and being labeled as such doesn't help. That's why being lazy like Tony is not a good thing. Firstly, laziness leads to procrastination. Every moment Tony picks up the gamepad to complete another level of the game he's addicted to is a moment he could have used to complete his task. If you procrastinate on work because you don't want to do it and want to do the least possible at that moment, you're not really eliminating it. The result is that the work you were supposed to do goes wrong or fails entirely. This procrastination leads to a lack of trust in who you are and the work you've been entrusted with. Having grown up in a mechanical workshop and learned the trade from his father, Tony has the skills to complete the job. However, due to their laziness, they are unreliable as friends, family, and mechanics. Customers are not sure they'll get their car repaired on time, and even if they do, it might be done sloppily. A friend is never sure if they'll choose themselves over video games when they need help. Similarly, his family can't be sure they'll support them because their primary source of income, their business, is not doing well due to his laziness. Thirdly, laziness has a negative impact on health. Spending too much time sitting on the couch or in bed is bad for the body and can lead to cardiovascular diseases such as coronary artery disease. Heart disease is usually the result of weight gain due to lack of exercise. Depression, back pain, and diabetes are other health risks associated with laziness. Ask Tony about back pain. It is said that practice makes perfect, but the truth of this saying lies in the fact that laziness breeds laziness. Therefore, in addition to the health risks, anxiety, and procrastination that result from laziness, there is also the risk that, if you become really good at it, it will be difficult to get out of it, even if you want to. You probably don't have a good opinion of Tony the mechanic right now. So it's fair to say that he doesn't like being labeled as a lazy mechanic. Sometimes he would sincerely like to roll up his sleeves, throw away all his lazy habits, and adopt good ones. Instead, he is drawn back into the lazy habits he has become good at after years of practice. It's not impossible for Tony to stop being lazy. However, for Tony to stop being lazy, he must. It's not impossible for Tony to stop being lazy. Finally, what's even more concerning is the effect laziness has on the mind. Constant laziness weakens the mind because it gets used to the easy option of sitting around doing nothing. Therefore, if you practice laziness for a long time, you'll find that your motivation to do things is fleeting, even if the potential benefits are great. You'll find it easier to stay in the same stagnant position rather than do something to change the status quo. If you think you fall into the same category of lazy people as Tony, watch the next video in this series. For now, let's examine the other side of the coin, laziness. What exactly is strategic laziness? Watching TV, like Tony the mechanic, is not a bad thing. The same goes for video games. In fact, devoting an entire day to distractions like television, cell phones, and video games can be healthy. But this is only possible if laziness is used creatively and strategically. Laziness is a lost art. Long hours of hard work and impeccability seem to be the current benchmark for success. If you spend your weekends watching TV shows instead of bringing work home, it's not right. If you don't strive for perfection in the office, you're not doing an optimal job. Therefore, any type of laziness practiced by people is viewed with suspicion and considered a negative thing. Do you know the Pareto principle? No, I don't know it. Yes, I do. Basically, this principle states that 80% of the effectiveness in a given situation usually comes from 20% of the effort expended. Strategic laziness requires identifying the tasks that are most important to you, committing yourself fully to completing them effectively, and spending the rest of the day on what you enjoy. The trick is to separate the tasks that will drain your energy without yielding the desired results from those that, although requiring a lot of attention and energy, will give you the best results. Catherine is a master of the to-do list. Her life is not minimalist. In fact, she's a bit of a hoarder, but her to-do list is generally as minimalist as possible. The question she asks herself before writing something on the to-do list is whether the task is necessary. Many of us have endless daily to-do lists with tasks that don't really need to be done. As a result, we become exhausted from what we have to do all day, or we become lazy because we're afraid to face the task. Like Catherine, try to make your to-do list as minimalist as possible. Eat a live frog first thing in the morning, and nothing worse will happen to you all day. Mark Twain probably said it in jest, but behind the funny words lies a golden rule for those who want to be strategically lazy. In his book Eat the Frog, Brian Tracy states that if you tackle the most difficult and time-consuming tasks first thing in the morning, the rest will be easy. If you eat frogs in the morning, you're less likely to procrastinate and slow down. However, if you start with easy, high-intensity tasks, eating frogs can seem scary. Strategic laziness also requires breaks during the day to recharge your batteries and maintain optimal productivity. Catherine takes a 30-minute break every 2 hours of work to check Twitter or play on her phone. To a casual observer, 30 minutes every 2 hours might seem like a waste of time and potential laziness. However, Catherine's guilt-free breaks allow her to slow down her active mind and let her subconscious do the work by distracting her. Moreover, since they are planned, there is no guilt she would feel if she were checking her phone to distract herself. Finally, and this is an important aspect of strategic laziness, you should schedule a vacation during the week to enjoy the luxury of laziness. For Steve, weekends are sacred. Steve has a busy schedule during the week, but on weekends, he relaxes by socializing with his girlfriend, watching soccer, and sometimes sleeping. His boss sometimes thinks that Steve is too strict on weekends and that he should answer calls from the people who pay his salary on weekends. To which Steve simply replies, "I could answer the phone and do a very distracting, probably lower quality job on the weekends and not perform at my best during the week. Or, I could do an excellent job during the week, as I am now, and not worry about a Netflix marathon." The rule for enjoying laziness in your free time is to be productive when you don't have free time. The only time you can relax is when you're nervous, not when you've been on the couch all week, being unproductive, and thinking you have another week or 3 of free time. That's just being lazy, like Tony. In conclusion, there are negative types of laziness, but laziness does not only refer to the negative aspects. Planned laziness, or better yet, earned laziness, is beneficial because it allows the mind to rest, plan, and be creative, relaxing the mind. However, practical wisdom also recognizes that strategic laziness is not something you can start from scratch, especially if you're like Tony. Let us know about your practical experience regarding today's topic by writing it in the comments. And do not hesitate to ask questions, we will respond to the best of our ability. Do not forget to share your opinion with us and leave a comment. If you also leave a like, it would be great. Subscribe so you don't miss the next video.